Hey guys, welcome back to We Watched a Movie. I'm Mike, and today I'm reviewing Aftershock, presented by Eli Roth, a horror movie, a horror disaster movie, about an earthquake in Chile with other horror aspects ushered in. It's guaranteed to be either super scary, super gory, either scare you or gross you out, right?
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie. We watched it. We watched a movie. Yeah.
Eli Roth plays a father who goes vacationing in Chile. He meets up with a couple buddies and they go out clubbing, they're partying, they're getting wasted, they're trying to get laid. An earthquake hits and a bunch of people die. They're trying to survive. There's a bunch of blood and gore going on. It also happens to crush a prison and all the inmates are released. So you got that to deal with. And then you've got a couple other horror aspects that come into play that I won't give away here. I was really excited to watch this. I think it's a video on demand, it's under the radar, it's a horror movie, it's Eli Roth, it's gonna be a messed up movie, but it really just kind of just underwhelms in every sense of the word. In my opinion, the whole thing is just shot terribly. I'll probably get hate for saying this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it. This movie would have been better as a found footage movie. Just because when you try to make it an actual movie and you've got an earthquake happening and all these special effects that are supposed to be going on, but you don't have the money to make it look good, it just comes across just cheap and bad looking. And the whole movie does look bad in my opinion. It's just a nasty looking color palette. It doesn't look good at all. I don't like the way it's shot. They try to get kind of shaky with it and they try to get really up close to people so that you get a sense of what's going on around you, but it really just looks ugly. And when the scenes kick in with the earthquake and stuff like that, it honestly feels like a bunch of like plastic cinder blocks are just falling on everybody and just crushing people left and right. Like at one point this guy tries to help a girl and he's trying to push this giant shelf off of her and he gets her out of it, but then it falls back on his hand and you hear a splat and then he pulls up a bloody stump. He's just like, oh, my hand, and it's just like, it's kind of goofy. It's just goofy, and it's supposed to be dark, and it's supposed to make you kind of sick to your stomach and just grossed out, and it really just ends up being goofy. And the movie doesn't take itself too seriously, but at the same time, I felt like they were trying to scare us and feel this sense of panic, and it never really happens. First off, you don't care really about any of the characters. There's a couple scenes that made me laugh, but apart from that, it was just like, whatever. You guys are kind of douchebags. Eli Roth isn't really that big of a douchebag, but he's also just he's just so corny, and I think it plays to his character. He gets a lot of crap for his acting. I honestly didn't think he was that bad in this movie. Maybe it was just because he was the most likable character of the bunch, because the rest of them I just could care less about. And every time something happens to one of them, it's like, oh, that happened. And it seems like scene after scene, this person's hurt. Now we gotta carry them and try to help them. Oh, something bad happens. Now this person's hurt. We gotta try to carry them somewhere to help them. Oh, now this bad stuff's happening. It's just like, okay, I get it. Can we not, for once, have that one guy dragging the group down and just move on with the story? I get what they're trying to do with this next step. They're trying to be like, oh, you've got a disaster. Oh, now you've got these inmates escaping, and now we're running from them. I see no justification for some of the stuff they do. Like, I don't need to watch somebody get raped. I know I've said this several times. It's just, there's a million other things you can do. Why do you have to show that scene? Why do you have to have that happen? It doesn't add anything to the film. I get that this is a bad and shitty situation. You could have hinted at it, you could have it off camera, but there's no need to show it. It doesn't add anything to the film, and it's just wrong in my opinion. I don't know, maybe that's just me, maybe I'm old school, but I just think that's gross and stupid. I kept waiting for something cool to happen, like something else to come up, like, I don't know if it would be like monsters or whatever the hell, but from kind of the hype that I was hearing about this movie, from it being Eli Roth, I'm hearing it's supposed to be this horror hybrid, I'm expecting something more, and all we get is just this kind of half-assed earthquake, and then you kind of get this stupid, depraved story of these prisoners attacking people, and then when they run away into this tunnel in a church, they add some other elements to it, and it's just like, that was your big, like, freaky send-off. Like, it just didn't do it for me. There's no scares in Aftershock. The acting is pretty terrible in Aftershock. The direction's bad in Aftershock. The special effects are bad in Aftershock. At one point, when there's fire, you gotta at least be able to, if you're gonna make a disaster movie, be able to make a good-looking fire. I mean, Eli Roth should have stepped in there and be like, dude, that looks like shit. Can you fix that? It looks like their body's here, and if they catch on fire, the fire's up here. But they're like screwing around, burning everywhere. It looks terrible. There's really not a whole lot of good in this movie whatsoever. I'm really disappointed with it. I'm gonna have to give Aftershock a 4, guys. I really was excited about it. I wanted it to be scary, or at least just something out there, different, original, cool, and it just wasn't it. I would say don't waste your time on it. Definitely don't spend the $7 or on video on demand like I did. Even if you're a huge horror fan, it's hard for me to see how anybody could enjoy watching this movie. What is one movie that you guys watch, whether it be on video on demand, Netflix, whatever, that you didn't see coming? Just a horror movie that you thought, whatever, I'm gonna watch it just to see. I've never heard of it, it's low budget, I'm gonna watch it just to see what happens, and it absolutely scared the shit out of you. What's the scariest horror movie that you guys didn't see coming? Until next time, I'm Mike from We Watched a Movie, and we'll see you next time.
We watched a movie. Yeah. We watched a movie.